what I'm going to step you through next is some sizing and some positioning of elements that have been created with the Pentaho Report Designer. If you start out from scratch, you're able to manipulate and move these elements freely by design the first time. But if you start out with the Report Design Wizard, you need to uncheck some default properties. So to give you an example, cost and sales, I have them in the wrong position. Technically speaking, I can go in and edit using the Report Wizard and just move the item sales. And what that will do is create a new copy of that report and show that appropriately. But if I wanted to re-edit the report, or if I had other elements I wanted to add to an existing Report Design Wizard view, what I wanted to point out is that there are sections, details header, no data, details, details footer, etc. Each of these items have a layout and a property set to it. So to give you an example, if we expand our group's name, group's header, and then details body, details header, under the Style tab and scrolling down, you'll see a size and position. You'll see the layout is shown as row. So what we're going to do is adjust that and change that to canvas. Okay, and we've done that for the details header, and then we're going to do that for the details row, and then we'll adjust the items accordingly. So scrolling down again, sizing, position, layout, canvas. And what it'll do is it'll just reposition and resize some of those elements. So what you can do is now freely move the elements you wish. So there's sales, and then there's cost, and we could just adjust those. And then the same thing with the labels. Okay, now keep in mind, since we are using Dynamic Report Designer labels, you might want to preview just to make sure when you move the label over, it's the appropriate label, depending if you're moving items. So some of the other elements I wanted to talk about also is the guide markers. So you have guides, show guides, snap to grids. Also what's called element alignment hints. These are the faint lines that will, when you select an item, move with it, adjust sizing and positioning. And then the other thing is, if you click on the ruler, you have your guide markers, so you can start snapping these elements together so they're aligned appropriately. And that's how you can get your fine-tuning and alignments just right if you'd like to do that. Okay, so now that we've positioned some of the elements, actually what we're going to do now is we're going to make room for a new element called profit. So what I'm going to do is we're going to size these elements. I'm going to put a couple of guide markers here so we can just size appropriately. So that'll be our plant. And then what we're able to do is we can move these over. And we'll do the same for cost. Okay, so we have our plant, our sales, and our cost. Now I'm going to add a calculated field.